Hi, this is Joe Forward with the State Bar of Wisconsin. We are here at the Solo and Small Firm Conference in Wisconsin Dells. It's day 3, and I'm here with Jerome Mayne, who was the featured speaker this morning. Jerome, how you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Can you give us a little bit about your background? Tell us what you do, and explain what your topic of discussion was today.
Okay. Well, for the last 10 years, I've been a public speaker and author. And I started speaking in about 2001, 2002, and actually it was right after I got released from federal prison. As it turns out, my experience and my story has a pretty profound impact on the business professional. And I've had an opportunity to really share that message with a lot of groups, and it turns out it works for continuing education too, which I never really planned on in the first place. But I like to share my story now, and I guess that's what I do.
And so, what did you do leading up to the problems that you had? And can you give us an idea of what happened, or
Sure. Well, it was in the 90s. I wound up in a career as a loan officer, and in Minneapolis. And I was contacted by a group of investors who wanted me to help their customers get loans, and there was a scam going on with that, and I figured it out. I knew, I had the instinct that there was something going on, but I didn't do anything about it. And as the months went by, I actually wound up getting more involved than I ever thought I was going to be. And I got nervous about that, so I quit. I quit working with them and moved on, and for 4 years started my own companies and did my own thing, perfectly legitimate, and then it was about 4 years after I quit working with those guys that I wound up getting a phone call from the FBI, and they took me into custody within about 15 minutes of that phone call. Well, my sentence was 21 months in the federal prison in Yankton, South Dakota, and it wound up being a 16-and-a-half-month sentence. But yeah, it was quite an experience, and it really helps to have the element of a guy who's just a regular guy, I think. My involvement in this whole scheme was really not that exciting. It wasn't catch me if you can. I didn't run to Brazil or France or anything. It was just a regular guy, which I think people can relate to. It's just your average story. And what I like people to walk away with is the fact that, it doesn't matter who you are or how you were raised, or you may have the best ethics in the world, but you're still vulnerable. And that doesn't mean you're going to do it. It just means vulnerable. There's a lot of people out there who want you to do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do. On the wrong day, at the wrong time, decision could be made that's just not the right decision. So I'm careful to say not everybody will do it or does it. It's that vulnerability that I think if people keep in mind, they're going to be much better off. We all have that gut feeling when something's not right. Of course you know the rules and you know your business. You know what it means to be a lawyer. You've got a lot of ethical standards. But not always do those things feel wrong, things meaning things that come up on a day-to-day basis. And so they don't seem wrong, but you do feel it. And so those are the things to listen to that instinct, and that may sound kind of Dr. Phil, ish a little bit, but it's really not. It's really not. I remember feeling that and didn't do anything about it. I've met a lot of people over the years who can relate to that exact thing.
Right. Well, Jerome, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk with us today.
Yeah, well, thank you.